Well, it's time we cover another museum here in Gettysburg. We're here at the Gettysburg Heritage Center. Hello there, parapeeps, and welcome to another episode of Our Haunted Travels. I'm your host, Sean Donnelly.
I'm your co-host, Marianne Donnelly.
That's right. Today, Marianne's got a whisper because we don't have the microphones on. So we're at the Gettysburg Heritage Center. We've been by here several times. Actually, I remember one time we came by here and there was an encampment going on, but we've never been inside.
Right.
So let's take them with us.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's go check it out.
None is so easily recognizable or more apt to evoke emotion than the bugle call taps. The origin of the eloquent and haunting call we know today as taps is somewhat clouded in controversy. It evolved from the existing bugle calls for extinguished lights, which was deemed to be too formal, and an older version of tattoo, which was no longer in use by us. It failed to use. Its echoes linger in the heart of its tones have ceased to vibrate in the air. Today, taps is sounded as the final part of reviewing of military installations and memorial services and military families. In 2012, Congress recognized taps as the national song of remembrance. Its lingering strains can regularly be heard echoing across Gettysburg's historic battlefield and sacred cemeteries.
As the fighting escalated throughout the morning and into the afternoon of July 1st, 1863, the citizens of Gettysburg became painfully aware that their once peaceful town was to become the scene of carnage and bloodshed. While many families fled the area to points of safety, others remained.
officers dashed through the streets, ordering everyone to the cellars. As the town would be shelled, people running hither and thither, not knowing what to do or where to go for safety. Fanny Bueller, housewife, Baltimore Street.
An officer rode his horse up on the pavement among the soldiers and said, "All you good people go down in your cellars or you will all be killed." We obeyed him at once. Several neighboring families had sought out our house, for it was large and well built with strong cellar walls of stone. Hardly were we all down in the cellar when we heard fighting all around the house. Albertus McCreary, age 15.
During the late afternoon of July 1st, Union forces were driven through the town, back to Cemetery Hill, while the victorious Southerners followed on their heels. In their cellars, the citizens of town listened to the chaos above and waited helplessly for the fighting to end.
I will never forget the retreat. It was something terrible. No human words can describe it, and no one who was not on the scene can realize it. The orders came at 4 o'clock for everyone to go to the cellars. We stayed in ours for 2 long hours, and I will never forget them. Some of the retreating men went through our house, and the noise above our heads, the rattle of musketry, the screeching of shells, and the unearthly yells added to the terror and cries of the women and children. Sally Myers, schoolteacher, age 21.
There were several small windows in the walls, and their light cast shadows on the opposite wall, with men rushing back and forth. Those shadows filled all of us with horror. Albertus McCreary.
For the next 2 days, the rebel army occupied Gettysburg, and a violent sharpshooter action erupted at the southern edge of town. Cannons fired over the town, and the citizens remained hidden.
We had to remain in the cellar as long as the daylight lasted on Thursday and Friday. In our prison, we could hear the Union cheer and the rebel yell out on the bloody field, while the shells shrieked and moaned flying over our heads, and hear the roar of the terrific cannonading which caused the house to shake, while ever and anon we heard many balls crashing through the doors and windows above us. Martin Luther Culver.
At 1 p.m. on July 3rd, Confederate cannons opened fire in preparation for an effort to pierce the Union center along Cemetery Ridge. The Union artillery responded, and for almost 2 hours, 250 cannons fired at each other. The sound was deafening as each explosion shook the houses in town.
Again, the battle began with unearthly fury. Nearly all the afternoon, it seemed as if the heavens and earth were crashing together. The time that we sat in the cellar seemed long, listening to the terrific sound of strife, more terrible never greeted human ears. We knew that with every explosion and the scream of each shell, human beings were hurried through excruciating pain into another world. Some thought this awful afternoon would never come to a close. We knew that the rebels were putting forth all their might, and it was a dreadful thought that they might succeed. Sarah Broadhead, housewife, Chambersburg Street.
On the 4th of July, Confederate forces retreated, and the Union Army recaptured the town. There is still violent sharpshooter action that day in the western and northern suburbs of Gettysburg. On July 5th, the Southern forces retreated, and many emerged from their houses for the first time in days. In the aftermath of the battle, there is much to be done. But in the years that followed, the memories of the citizens of Gettysburg would be dominated by the sights and sounds of the battle they experienced from the cellars of their homes.
called Cemetery Hill. And of course we call it Cemetery Hill because there was a cemetery here at the time of the Civil War. It's the Evergreen Cemetery. It was established in 1854, 9 years prior to Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. At the time of the Civil War, this section of the cemetery behind me was not occupied by stones. And this was actually the site of where the platform was constructed for the dedication ceremony of the Soldiers National Cemetery. We are actually behind the platform. And the crowd that assembled that day would be out behind me in front of the platform. There were somewhere around 15,000 people in Gettysburg that day. It's very difficult to say how many people actually attended the ceremony. If you try to picture the scene, there would be thousands of people out behind me in front of the platform. There were fresh graves. At that time, they had begun reburying the soldiers from the battlefield into the cemetery, but they would not finish burial operations until the next spring. There were a large amount of military that were present during the ceremonies. And perhaps Lincoln spoke for 2 or 3 minutes. And most of the people in the crowd that day, of course, remembered having heard Lincoln or seen Lincoln on the platform. It's really difficult to say how many people actually heard what he said. One of the interesting things about Lincoln's Gettysburg Address is the fact that everyone who attended the ceremony that day would be forever tied to the words of Abraham Lincoln in that famous moment when he gave the speech. And as years went by, people remembered being there, and people were interviewed about being at the scene of Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. And everyone who attended claimed to have heard every word he said and understood what he said at the time. And in local newspapers, obituaries are filled with "he attended Lincoln's Gettysburg Address," or "he stood near the platform," or "she sat on the platforms." Today, the National Park Service has the Soldiers National Cemetery, and there's a large memorial behind us that marks near the spot where Abraham Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address. But the actual spot is not as well known, and there's no marker. But comparing the photographs that were taken at the time to the site today, it's obvious that the platform was right here in the Evergreen Cemetery, and that anyone who is willing can walk in and stand near the spot where he gave the address.
Spend some time in the gift shop.
Always.
All right, another cool museum. What did you think?
I liked it.
Did you like it?
I did.
I did.
I can't believe we've never been in there before.
There's so many different things that we do. We're going to have to come back every year, maybe
know.
multiple times. There's so many different things to do here. We're always finding something new.
Yes.
All right, till next time.
Thanks for watching.
And happy hunting.
Let us know if you like this video by hitting that thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to see more videos from us in the future, support our channel by hitting that subscribe button and dinging that bell so you get notified the next time there's a video from Panic D Videos.
Thanks for watching.
Happy hunting.